Ow! These are the £5,000 sleeves.
Ooh.
It's in there nice. Oh shit! What happens if he hadn't marked them?
5, 4.
You see it says Marley. It doesn't know when your muff is buried in my face. Oh, how? So that's the spring ring. Insighted.
Nonce.
Welcome to another episode of I Should Have Been a Wizard Sleeve Maker. I got a sleeve stuck.
You've literally got a sleeve stuck?
I have got a sleeve stuck. Oh, it's knocky knocky. What's going on then, Dav?
Well, we're back in the engine room.
We are. I have two 6-bangers joined together. So I thought we would put some sleeves in and maybe install some pistons into an engine.
So this is a
Murcielago Dreamboat.
V12 Monster.
Si, senor. Si, senor.
Is this a part 2?
Did we do... I think we did a bit on stripping it, didn't we? We done the oil pump the other week.
Yeah. So it was introduced a while back.
Yes. And
now this is the build stage.
Building time.
A nice bit of tech.
Yeah. Right. It's like rolling a Johnny on.
Interesting technique.
Yeah. So these are brand new sleeves off. These are the £5,000 sleeves.
These are the super cakey sleeves.
Yeah. These are a lot of money. So brand new sleeves, original pistons, new sleeve rings. So the sleeve rings sit in this area here, and they're to stop the water jacket, the water in the water jacket, which is this area, traveling down into the sump. So I normally put the O-ring on, get my right-angled pick if it would take it. Try to get underneath. Just spin it to make sure it's righted. Yeah, jobs are good. And then,
nice.
Lubricate up the bottom.
Of course.
This is extra virgin olive oil. And I haven't got to put any friction on the sleeve, as in the sleeve's not got to rub on anything. So I'm not putting any lubricant on that.
Yep.
We'll just put it on the sleeve body to slide it down inside.
Are you a lubricant or a lubricant?
Certainly something. Gold fingers. Do, do, do. And then they do that metal bindy thing where you've got to it'll pinch one way or another like that.
Yep.
And then my trolley's moving.
Does that make your bottom squeak while you're doing that?
Yeah. Because once you've got it to a point where it's even Stevens, you can just use me.
It's almost like some African musical instrument, that, isn't it?
It's a midget. What is it called?
Croquette.
Yeah.
Oh dear, it started already.
It started. I ain't putting these in.
Well, at least you've only got 12.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
No worries, mate.
I mean, trolley's moving. Right, hang on. Let's do something clever. Building time. That'll work, that'll be better. So this is off my McLaren tool. They're not tight like McLaren ones, they're just, you just need gentle to ping. See?
There we go.
Now, if I wasn't filming, what I'd actually do is put the sleeves in the freezer.
In the freezer?
Yes.
Okay.
But because I want to put pistons in afterwards,
Yeah.
for filming purposes,
Of course.
I don't want to put the sleeves in the freezer. You see that just sat down really nicely at the end.
Yeah.
See?
Yep.
That's what we want.
Smooth.
So it's not bound. I haven't beat the living daylights out of it to get it in. It's not. It's in there nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've then got to be careful. If you flip it upside down and start moving the crank around, you can move your piston. You can move your liners up and down. So you've got to be careful. All right, that's one.
So back to the freezer.
Yeah, because what does making stuff cold do?
Well, it's like getting into the sea, isn't it, with your winky?
Yeah, it shrivels up into your stomach. Know what I'm saying? So exactly that. You put them in the freezer. I've only got a little freezer, so it would take me a while to do all of them. But they would fall in.
Yeah.
The other side of it is if the engine had been in a wash tank.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Comes out rather hot.
Comes out warm. So what you've got to watch when you roll an O-ring is you twist it. Yeah? So if you're rolling an O-ring like that,
Yep.
think of it as in, what have I got that I can twist? So if that's the body of an O-ring and I twist it, you get that.
Yep.
Yeah? So that's why you've got to make sure you try to set it as well as you can. So that's why I normally...
Because I guess, that's not going to seal then, is it, if it's twisted?
No, it's certainly no good for it. You're putting torsion into it. So I normally just do that.
Yep.
And then it's even, and you just roll it down to the bottom. So that is what I normally do. Do you know what I need? I need a brush. Yeah. Those are squeeze bottles.
That looks like something from the burger van.
Yeah.
At a show I was
It
at
is,
recently.
It is. Oh shit! Ah! Come on! It's extra virgin olive oil. We should do that. Yeah, like have you seen? There's a couple of engine shops on Tinterweb, and like their build assembly, they use like Torco or something build lube that's red, and they've got it in ketchup bottles.
Ah, nice.
So I think that's quite funny. So I'm not tapping it yet because I'm not deep enough. And then you can give it a good whack.
Give it some welly.
And again, it's a hear the note change.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to avoid. So it is literally tapper, tapper, tapper.
And if you were to go too full on with this to start with, what's
bind up. So what you'll do is, it's a steel liner and aluminium block. So if you beat the daylights out of it, you will essentially, so like this one, look, there you go. I've pretty much got that one in by hand.
Yeah.
It's just started to bind up right at the top. Can I push?
There we go.
Yeah, so all that's to do is to literally, if you feel it resisting, then it's not going to do you any favours.
No.
And don't forget the O-rings. Make sure you have O-rings on them all. Because you will cry. Because your oil will be minky?
Ah, minky.
Yeah, minky.
Is that what Professor Clouseau used to call a monkey.
Yeah.
There's a minky.
Inspector.
There's a berm.
Yeah.
Special delivery, a bird. Were you expecting one? A bird?
Don't make comedy like that anymore.
They don't.
Minky. They were good films, they were.
It was.
Funny.
When he used to get Kato to surprise him.
Yeah.
And we can't say what he used to call him on camera.
No.
It's just get us... right, hang on.
In a small amount of trouble.
I've not focused on that very well at all. Just...
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Sexual.
Nice action.
Nice action. Do.
Hello, Keglen.
Yeah, someone posted, lad, because we were talking about Phoenix Nights, weren't we?
We were indeed.
The bit where they get the clairvoyant in.
Yes.
And he's obviously, because it's like a conservative club, isn't it? Like a working man's club.
Yeah.
And so he's doing a show one night and he stands in front of a massive board head. He goes, I'm getting the word.
I'm getting the word. Nonce.
Oh, that is brilliant. And he like goes to another one. He goes, oh, Dave, you've got something to tell her, haven't you, Dave? What have you got to tell me, Dave? You have, haven't you, Dave? No, I haven't got anything. And he's just literally causing Honestly, that is such a TV program. We did my favourite bit is the midgets getting out of that.
We've used that before.
Yeah, we've used that one. All we talk about is good old classic comedy, innit?
Pretty much.
What were we talking about earlier? And we said we'll stop talking about that. We'll talk about it on camera.
Yes. The test results? No, hang on. That's another one. The new unit. So I was asking what sort of plans you've got now for the next phase.
Les toilettes. So that's why we're late filming today, because some lads are over there doing the toilets or looking up to sort of come up with some ideas. So that's fine. I've got to move the tinterweb over.
Yep.
So I've got to sort that.
Did you decide to go with Starlink? Was it Starlink?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have said it's a bit hit and miss.
Okay.
So I don't know. At the minute, I'm probably just going to bang my 5G router in.
Yeah.
Because it's not expensive, and see how we go. Because I basically at the minute now I've just got a. See what I mean? It like clicks on a bind up. Ooh. Not too hard.
Ooh. Nicely done. So yes, you had talking about the toilets and
Les
internet.
toilettes.
Yep.
So they're over there looking at that now. We got to plumb up the kitchen because I taught all the pipe work out to do the toilets because of the plasterboard and all that.
The boys need a brew.
Yeah, the boys need a brew. And then
You're talking about taking the racking over.
Yeah, the skips. So I've got a skip. So we've just got to empty all the rubbish out, and then when that's rubbished out, then Nathan can start to move over the racking. And I need to get some more racking, to be fair. To just allow us to start sorting stuff out.
Yep.
But this is probably what I was saying in that video the other day. The hard bit is is it costs money.
Indeed.
Which everything does, but there comes a point where you start off with the money to do the job, and you keep spending, getting the priorities in, and then there comes a point where you just got to get a load of work in and out to carry on doing stuff.
Yeah.
So in my head, I would love to have moved over with it perfect, done, ready to go. It's never going to be like that.
Yeah, it's a working workshop, isn't it? You've got to get it earning money as soon as you can.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. So, tells what it is, laddie. Tells what it is. So it's all back. The liners are in. We're just going to... Everything's balanced. Rings are all set and measured. But I wanted to show you this little bit because this can catch people out. So, how do you identify which way the piston goes in? We've marked the underside of the piston. So when we stripped it, all the pistons would have been upside down, like this, hanging out the bottom of the engine, and we've marked them in the same place, taking them off, right? So I know which way they go in, but Carl stripped it. What's to say he's done everything right?
Yep.
I know he has, because we did it together and I trust him and I can see he has. Okay, let me put it this way. What happens if he hadn't marked them? Yeah? How do we know which way that piston goes in? Because it has a way to go in. So there's a couple of ways you can check, or a few things that will give you an idea, right? And we'll go for the simple ones first. One, these are symmetrical skirts, but you can get asymmetrical skirts. So one side of the skirt is fatter than the other. The fatter skirt will always be on major thrust. Major thrust is the side that has to push against the cylinder wall to turn the crank. But let me show you. So this one is 40.6, flip it around, 41. Not enough for me, 40.5, to say 0.3 of a mil. Not enough for me to sit there. Yeah, 40.8 the other one. So that's not enough of a gap to say which is right or wrong. They're both very, very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't identify which side's the inlet, which side's the exhaust by the skirt. I can't identify, you can get what's called an offset pin. So the pin, the wrist pin's not in the center line of the piston. You get it offset. This isn't, so it's a center line pin. Yeah. And it's even got center line marking on it. So you kind of go, let's do it that way. 44. 44. So again, the pin's in the middle, so I can't do anything that way. Right. Valve cutouts. So the size of the valve cutouts. So on the R8 and the Lamborghini V10s, it's obvious because the inlet cutouts are bigger than the exhaust. So let's measure the cutouts side to side. All right, so just getting the cutout. And you go 25.1, 25.1. So the cutout size doesn't tell me. Right, so the last bit now is the gap between the cutouts, okay? So that then tells us the stem position of the valves, if that makes sense. They'll be out here or in here. Right, so we're gonna go 28.3. Right. So we've identified it. 24. That's exhaust, that's inlet. Okay? So we're literally just going to write, and it's number 6. So we're just going to put I6. Right. Why do I know the inlet is the bigger gap? Because an inlet valve is always bigger than an exhaust, and it will always be bigger than an exhaust on a petrol engine, and it will always be spaced further apart than an exhaust. So I know just by looking at that, and I know because the heads are upside down over there, the valves are smaller. The bigger valves, the bigger gap between the valves is inlet. So now we just do the same on every one. Yeah, so we just go 28. So that's I5.
Well, there we go.
I4. I3. See, I got that one in. Wrong way. I2. So I had that one in the pile the wrong way and that one in the pile the wrong way.
So that proves it straight
So
away.
that proves straight away.
Yeah.
Right, let's go. I1. I2. I3. I4. I5. Perfect. All my rods are marked. But again, muddled up. 1, 4, 3, 2. What have I done here, Mush? 2, 1, 2. I've laid them out wrong. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is that easy to fuck it up. Yeah? So that's why you check and you double check and you double check and we mark. So yeah. So you can see they're both marked on the underside on the same side.
There we go.
Both marked on the underside on the same side.
Yep.
And again, and you can also see if you look in the base of the piston, because you see it says Marley on the underside of the crown. Again, little things that tell you, but if you caught with your pants down, you know what you've got to do to sort it. So what we're going to do now, that one's got both pins out, both clips out. So I'm just going to pop this clip in higher. Oh yes. What is it the kids say now? We're going to hock turn that thing.
Yes.
I thought I had a little screwdriver in here. That's annoying. And these clips are pain in ass, friend. I'm going to get shouted at now as well, and I for not wearing my goggles.
You will.
I hate putting circlips in, Dav.
It's not your favourite thing to do, is it?
Oh, no. Cram locks are the best ones to do it on. But oh, it's horrible, man. It doesn't help when your muff is buried in my face when I'm trying to do it. These are quite a tall gauge wire. So these are actually 1.58, and you think some of the stuff we run to keep the weight down in some of the other cars, we run like a 0.68.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Not helping you.
No. So we just literally just use get the hook in, use a flat blade screwdriver so you don't sort of slip and do any damage. I hold the front of the clip down, and then literally.
It feels a bit.
It's like the nastiest bit of an engine build, because everything else you can do really nice. Oh bloody hell! You know, you never mar anything, or you never get a mark on anything, and then this you kind of like got.
Careful not to take a gouge out of it.
Yeah. Oh, like that. Feels like you get a lever bar in. Hurts my. Here we go. There is no trick of the trade in that. You have just got to use smooth, controlled actions.
I see. Are you known for your smooth, controlled actions?
Yep. That's why she's married to me, mate. Ow, that hurts us. That still hurts us. Oh. Bloody hell, my thumbs, man. That's harder than muscling a superbike round, that is.
It's ready for the new t-shirt slogan.
Tight as a tiger. Will people buy that, do you think?
I don't know. I'd buy that.
I'd buy that for $1.
There's another one.
Name the film.
Oh, is it Ferris Bueller?
No.
Was it Planes, Trains and Automobiles?
Well, it might well have been, because it was a TV show in America, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, but it's in a film where he's sat in the front step of a van watching it and he can't hear it.
Yeah.
So he smashes the window in front of the shop. It's RoboCop.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, of course.
I'd buy that for $1.
I remember the first time I watched that, I thought it was savage.
Oh, that is a group. Yeah. No, is it? Does it hurt? Does it hurt? Yeah.
I think
I wasn't like 7 years old watching that.
No, I was.
It's the bit when he drives the van into the toxic waste.
Yeah. The special effects back in the day were good, weren't they? I kind of prefer them to the CGI we've got now.
I used to get up at 6 in the morning and sneak downstairs and put Predator on.
Yeah.
Love that film. That's mine and Kate's Valentine's film, that is.
You've mentioned that before, actually. I'm still impressed with that. Yeah, we used to rent videos from down the road. My mate's mum she'd rent anything he wanted.
Do you remember that? That was the days, wasn't it? Friday night, go to Blockbuster, spend 45 minutes looking for a video.
That's it.
Bag of popcorn.
Get it, find out, oh, they've not rewound it. Damn.
Bastards.
You got to do that first. Sort the tracking out.
Kids these days, don't know the born. The misery multiplied by 12, Dav.
This is the problem, isn't it, with these big Italian lumps?
Stallions. Big Italian stallions. Oh, ow!
See, people don't see the pain you go through with this.
Oh, ow! You ever been flicked on the end of your finger? Or like you've ever flicked like wood and it buzzes for your finger.
Yes.
So what happens is you put so much tension in your fingers to get it to hook. When it doesn't hook and it lets go, it springs and it catches the end of it, like it split my glove and everything. It springs and it hits the end of your finger.
Right where you've got all the nerve endings.
I've never done spiral locks. So apparently there's a set, we use cram locks, which the tab is folded out the other way.
Yeah.
And I've shown you those before, haven't I? You put a tool in, you just hook it with a tool, and they're just like...
Slick.
Oh, God, so good. And then there's another set called spiral locks, where they're flat, and you've got to spiral them tight like a spring, get them in, and then let them go. I've never used those, so I don't know whether they're better or worse.
Well, if you have used them, let us know in the comments.
Be interesting to know your thoughts. And like that one went straight in, so I don't know. It's like crashing bikes. I didn't do anything different. I just ended up on my ass. Oakley dokily, Davla.
Sit rep, sir.
Pistons in. 6 pistons are on. Let me sort out my ring packs. I'm going to take my gloves off, I think, for a minute. My hands are sweaty. Very, very, very sweaty. Right, let me just organise myself for the next step.
Okay, and we shall return. Bit of wham there, sir.
Yes. So I have a piston on a rod. I have my inlet side marked, which is major thrust side. Major thrust. So I've put these are horrible, these bloody spring rings. So that's the spring ring under the oil control ring, and this is the frame for the oil control ring. Gently does it, because all 3 rings are cast, so they're genteel. You've basically got to...
Gently Bentley.
Here she is, the apple of my eye. That one's on. This is the bad one. So this is the second ring. And it's got a Napier cut on it. I don't know if you can see that, Dad.
Yeah, we've seen these before, haven't we?
Yeah, so that's scratchy, scratchy.
We've seen them, we've shown them before. Obviously you've seen them many times.
And you just walk it on. Like so. You just got to be gentle, gentle, gentle. There's one. Two. I don't like using the tools, the pliers, because you don't get a good feel on them.
Yeah.
And then this one's tighter again, so this is the top ring. So they're all gapped, everything's set. One. Two. All done.
Ta-da!
So make sure they spin nice. I've got them set in certain locations, but yeah, done. So service pistons, service the rods, new rings, new liners.
New balls, please.
Yeah. Righty ho. Number six. So I don't know how anyone else does it. I do it this way.
I like your little catch can underneath.
Yeah, old piston marks, and I literally just force it in the ring grooves. Force it in the ring grooves. Make sure your rings are all aligned. Coat skirt. And I hate these tools, but I don't have the correct one from Murcielago. I did order one and it has not arrived. It's been back order for forever. So I normally order the taper tools. The taper tools.
So that's the one you use for the V10s.
The muffin
the V8s.
man. Yeah.
The muffin man.
The muffin man. Not my gumdrop buttons. Right. These are the world's worst. I bloody hate them. So what you got to watch for is that, exactly that. All right. So it's two scrolls of steel. Yeah. So I normally do this. I wind it up in that, and then I basically tap the tool flat, like so. All right.
Yeah.
Now, that's no good because the skirt is not exposed at the bottom. So you'll sit it down and you don't know whether you've got it where it should be. So you kind of need it like that. All right?
Yep.
Right, so I had to reset it because I had the bloody lever for the tool up against the stud. Yeah?
Okay.
So, sit the tool on, like so. Make sure the tool is square. Basically do that.
Well, there we go.
That is in. Is there any point me showing you 5 more?
I don't really think so.
No. But this is what we've got to be careful of now, like with the rod, is if I'm not pushing a piston, look. Can you see?
Yep.
So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll get all 6 in and I'll sit the head on.
Yep.
And just nip the head up so that the liners are seated. Because there's nothing, cam locks, there's tensioners, yeah, thrust washers. So I think what we'll do is, mate, is there's no point me showing you putting 5 more in, but I think what about if hold it there and then next week we put the crank in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, let's make a build series out of this.
Hey, let's do it.
hey, let's do it.
People like a story.
So yeah, if you come this side, look, you can see how it looks.
So there we go.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've gone through doing ring gaps and stuff before, so we haven't got to do that. That's in old videos. It's not the best tool. Ow! But I don't have... That's a McLaren
your
one.
fancy McLaren
93mm.
V10 jobs.
84.5, 82.5. 4 inches was a C63 and some gaffer tape.
You don't use that one?
Yeah, and that's a Yamaha, that's a YC Yamaha R6.
Oh, okay.
There's no point me showing you rinse and repeat.
No.
I mean, I know we did it with the liners, but...
Yeah, it's not a full build.
No.
Start to scratch, how to.
Yeah. I think we'll do the next video, we'll do it. We'll put a crank in.
Sounds like a plan.
Because if I won't tip it all the way over, because I don't like this thought. Yeah, so you can see the underside look, so you can see the difference of where the liner sits.
There we go. And then we've got the one that's been inserted.
Inserted. So that is it crank. So the other thing to consider as well is, let me just show you this now while we think about it. We haven't covered this. I'm sure we've covered this before, but another thing to just make sure you've got sorted. Right, so that's my new rod bearing, all right?
Yep.
We have done this in other videos because I know I've spoken about it, but this might be hard to show. So maybe I can do it with vernier. Right, that's the bottom of the rod, right? The rod has an orientation into the bottom of the block.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know whether you can quite see it. Let me see if I can get you on a mic. .1, 2.9. So the cheek of the rod is different size.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a different thickness.
Yeah.
Now, conventionally, I would say the fatter cheek, normally the fatter cheek goes to the crank, not to the other rod. So you run the thin cheeks together, like that,
Yeah.
and the fat cheeks towards the crank, right?
Like so.
Like so. The problem is, why that's not right on this is, if I take the bearing and I sit the bearing in, like so, right? So that is the fat cheek and the bearing is sat off, can you see?
Yep.
So you've got more space
Hold
here.
it still a sec, let me just get really close onto that. So I've got more space on the right than on the left.
Yeah, right. I don't want that. I don't want the fat cheek now. If I show you, up against the crank, can you see where the bearing wants to sit on that webbing? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to pinch the corner of the bearing. So, contrary to what you would think on the cheek side, the rod has to go like that, thin cheek against the crank. Now watch as the bearing comes in and sits on the journal.
Hang on.
Can you see how much clearance I've got? Shall I get a pointer? So the bearing's offset. This is the fat cheek. That's the thin cheek.
Yep.
The bearing's offset. So can you see I've got a bigger gap here?
There we go, yeah.
From bearing to cheek?
Yep.
Right. On the V10s, the fat cheek always goes against the crank. So it always goes against the webbing.
There.
Okay?
Yep.
Yeah. because the fat cheek is also cut back. It's reliefed back to allow yourself to go into the contour, the radius of the crank. Right, watch what happens if I try to put it on the conventional way, right? So I'm up against the thrust face, I go on. Can you see, if I do it that way, can you see where that bearing now wants to run on the unmachined surface of the journal?
Yep.
Won't last 10 minutes.
No good.
Tear the bearing to bits. So, watch now what happens where the bearing's offset. Yeah? And we put it in. Can you now see I've got a gap between the mating surface and the radius of the crank?
Much better.
Yeah. But again, a little thing where you would make an assumption and it'll catch you out. So you have to be absolutely spot on. So that's what I was just looking at now. So this cylinder's further forward.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
If I do it this way, right? So they're going to sit like that.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah? And you can see the sort of the staining of the old bearing on it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't. The cheeks are the wrong way round.
Yep.
But the bearing's not going to clash on the crank.
Right.
All right?
Small thing, big difference.
Little thing, catastrophic difference. Catastrophic difference. Yeah. Because what will happen is you'll bolt it up, you'll go to turn a crank over, and it'll feel awful.
Yeah.
But your bearing clearance will be right. Or you won't feel it, and then you'll spin it over, and then you'll tear the arse out of the bearing.
We should be a bad day at the office.
Can you tear an ass out of a bearing? Has a bearing got an ass? It's
You're eating a sausage.
I say nothing.
Right.
Thanks for joining us. I was talking to Carlin. Yeah. You having a nice day?
It's just another day, isn't it?
Another day in paradise.
Your lad's got your first day at school today, wasn't it? What did you say? He didn't give a f***, did he?
He's autistic, isn't he? So he's pretty good, to be honest. He's not fazed by anything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So at least he didn't kick off.
Yeah.
He seemed happy enough.
Ideal.
Only 3 hours. So.
He was in there 3 hours.
It's like they
Gradually
phasing.
Ease them in, don't they? Yeah.
Wish I did that with work.
Do 3 hours,
Yeah, do 3 hours.
then go down the pub.
Yeah.
Here's an idea.
Right. There's
Okay.
no point me fitting other bearings for you then, so next week we'll put a crank in.
Let's do it. Let's continue the series.
Continue the series. Let me know what I've done wrong. It'll be too late by the time you've told me in the comments because it'll be built. See you on the next one.
See you later, bud.
Laters.